The relationship between Nintendo and esports is complex, contentious, and constantly surprising. While the company has never once set out to create a genuine esports title, we've documented numerous games that dedicated fans have poured hours into, forcing a competitive ecosystem onto casual party games. Typically, Nintendo GameCube games were not designed to be played competitively. You wouldn't want to play in a Mario Kart or Smash Melee tournament if they were using the game's default settings, and sometimes it can take years for a community to reach an agreed upon rule set. But being that these games haven't been updated in years, cracks in the code can sometimes have some unintended consequences, which can reveal that seemingly simple party games have incredible depth and skill expression. Depth is a critical part of any successful esport. Players need to feel rewarded for pouring hundreds of hours into mastering a game. Just look at how far games like Melee have gone.
I did kind of style on him there, right there. I styled on him pretty fucking hard.
But today, we'll be exploring an unlikely candidate for the title of deepest Nintendo esport, and possibly a deeper sports game than any Madden or FIFA you can find. This is Mario Superstar Baseball. Sports have been an integral part of the Mario franchise for decades. Mario's first foray into the genre was all the way back in 1987, where he appeared in Open Tournament Golf on the NES. Since then, the plumber and his pals have played a wide variety of sports, from tennis to soccer to many Olympic events. But despite the popularity of baseball in Japan, Mario wouldn't come into contact with the sport until 2005, with the release of Mario Superstar Baseball. The GameCube title received generally positive reviews, landing at a 76 on Metacritic. However, compared to some of the other main console Mario sports games out there, Mario Baseball was one of the worst selling, barely breaking 1 million copies sold according to VG Sales. It's safe to say that Mario Superstar Baseball left very little impact on the general gaming culture, but many who played the game in their youth remember it fondly. And at the State University of New York in New Paltz, a few of these now grown-up kids decided to form a Mario Superstar Baseball club.
So I've been playing Mario Superstar Baseball since I'm a kid. Me and my sister used to play all the time. I was involved in the Smash Bros Club at my college, and there was a smaller gathering of people who used to go to this same house once a week. And I finally got the invite. They said, hey, we're playing Mario Superstar Baseball. I show up to this basement. There's 20 people there hanging out, all playing this game. There's 6 setups. And from there, it just blossomed. We just had meetings with between 15 and 20 people every single time. And then eventually I decided, you know what? We should really have one of these setups be recorded.
As they began to build a community, some club members launched the YouTube channel now known as Dinger City, which continues to produce seasonal Mario baseball leagues and tournaments to this day. In the early days, the club used a fairly standard rule set on the game's most neutral field, Mario Stadium. At its core, Mario Baseball is regular baseball turned up to 11, with wacky Mario-themed additions like star hits and some unique batting implements. After all, why would a Hammer Bro swing a baseball bat when he's already got that thang on him? However, as time went on, those involved in the club were getting more and more competitive, and were investing quite a bit of time in developing their skills and searching for new ways to gain a competitive edge.
Debated.
Oh, hot damn!
That was a good play, baby. That was a good play.
As they dug deeper into the game, they realized just how complex Mario Baseball could be.
There is a meta to this game. They programmed a lot more into this game than we can even fathom, and the meta is still evolving and shifting.
One of the first ways the game's depth became apparent was in the drafting phase. Before starting a game of Mario Baseball, players must first draft a 9-character lineup from an available pool of 32 characters. Since you can't have the same character on both teams, there's a ton of strategy and metagaming that happens before the game even starts.
I don't have an infield spot. I still need to get an infield spot, and I took Wario really, really early as my captain because the ball is still good, and Wario at this spot is value because he's still an infielder. He has 3 of them on his team. He pretty much negated me, putting me in a spot where I had to take Wario. If I don't take Wario, I don't have a good infield.
Exactly.
Each character has a particular position they excel in, a unique swing, bat speed, sweet spot, fielding ability, pitching potential, and tons of other stats. Every team has a captain position, and depending on who you pick for that captain spot, you'll gain certain unique bonuses.
And each character does something slightly different. Some characters have like special abilities in the field that sets them apart. Laser is an ability that lets you throw really hard when someone's going to home, and that can save runs, that can turn the tide of a game. So there's just lots of permutations, and I think that's really awesome.
To top it all off, characters also have chemistry with other characters, meaning that you can snipe a character your opponent might want, even if they don't necessarily benefit your team in the long run. While much theorizing has been done regarding the hierarchy of needs for an ideal Mario Baseball lineup, each character requires different skill sets, and games are not simply won during the drafting phase. You still have to be good at the game.
Okay, we're stealing.
Why is he stealing? Why is he stealing? I didn't see the runner running!
No two players play the same in this game. Players in our club, and then in net play as well, who pitch incredibly differently from any other person, that it's like, okay, I'm playing a whole different game now. And there's no character that is not viable in some sense of the word in this game.
Although some character loyalists may continue to challenge the status quo, there is one character in the game that is so much better than everyone else that the entire metagame has been warped around him. Fittingly, that character is also the series' main villain.
Bowser is the overwhelmingly agreed on best character. There's a few heretics who try to go back and forth like, oh, DK's the best, Birdo's the best. Listen, there's no other character except for Bowser that gets walked 90% of his at-bats. Probably more than that. And a free single every time is still the best character in the game.
The community has experimented with a variety of methods for reining in Bowser's overwhelming strength, and have done things like require that he be chosen as a team's captain, to changing drafting rules based on which team selects Bowser. One route the Mario Baseball scene could take is to manually balance patch the game, taking a page out of the Sonic Riders community. However, the community is only now starting to truly uncover all of Mario Baseball's secrets, and it will likely be quite a while before the community agrees what exactly needs to be patched. After all, it wasn't until the end of 2020 that the game's modders finally cracked open Mario Baseball and got a proper look at how its systems actually function.
We did find a lot of stuff that people had no idea were in the game. Like, we used to think chemistry with one character was just a binary, do they have chemistry or do they not have chemistry? But now we found out that it's actually a value 0 to 100. It legitimized the game, I think, a little bit, in showing how much depth there really was to it.
With so many different systems, a growing community, and only a few years of proper meta exploration, it may be some time before the Mario Baseball scene comes to a common ground on exactly what balance changes need to happen.
Just this week, someone found some new types of hits using some star hits on some players that aren't often picked. So I would say right now, there's not a whole lot of interest in balance patching the game, but there might someday. The interest just isn't there right now.
Beyond just the various interactions and skill sets of the game's cast, Mario Baseball also requires players to master its resource system, star hits.
So the big thing that separates Mario Baseball from other baseball games is definitely the star hits. Every captain character has a unique star hit, some better than others. For example, Birdo is a meta-defining character because how ridiculously good her star hit is.
Players gain stars throughout the game through good hitting and fielding, and can then cash in those stars for improved hits or to use their captain's special skill. Captain skills and star hits must also be considered during the draft, as how you gain stars can be influenced by character chemistry. In the COVID era, an esports community's success hinges on the viability of online competition. As with many games we've discussed on this channel, Mario Baseball experienced the same struggles of many older, emulated netplay titles. However, a few modders in the community found a remarkably elegant solution to this problem used by some golf games on the GameCube Dolphin emulator.
Little Cokes and myself have been working on a Dolphin client that is just for Mario Baseball.
This project allows a match of Mario Baseball to constantly shift the latency burden onto the player least affected by lag. Once fully launched, this fix could kickstart a brand new era of online Mario Baseball. Between modders, top players, YouTubers, and speedrunners, the Mario Baseball community is filled with passionate gamers constantly pluming the depth of this lesser-known sports game. New interactions and techniques are still being discovered, and it's unlikely that the game will ever completely be solved. Nintendo has had an odd run since the early 2000s, creating some of the most memorable games of the modern era. Despite remaining steadfast in their commitment to casual-friendly games, GameCube titles in particular have blessed the esports world with a surprising number of deep, competitively viable titles. Who knows what a group of nostalgic college kids might uncover next? If Mario Baseball can be played competitively, what else could make a resurgence? This video is made possible thanks to our wonderful patrons. Massive thank you to everyone on this list, and shout out to Jason, B, Brendan, QB, Foxy, Mauve, Pachanas, Pin, Sierra, Shampoo, Spartacus, and Yashichi for being Platinum supporters. And an extra special shout out to Steven, Noodles, and Marco for being Diamond supporters. Thank you all for your continued support. If you want to support our channel and get info on unreleased videos, check out our Patreon. If you want to help us out in a different way, leaving a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell to stay up to date is also appreciated. My name is Jonah. Thanks for watching.